Hello, my name is Brayanoski.
And I'm Austin Morales, and you're watching The Inner Gamer On.
And today we'll be talking about the Xbox Series X, confirming there are no first-party exclusives for the next few years. And Phil Spencer, apologies, Mr. Phil out there, he has confirmed that he wants to have the xCloud, Project xCloud, on every single screen. And they're not producing the Xbox One X anymore. There's so many X's and this and that and everything everywhere. Shit is hitting the fan, and we got all the things to talk about it with. Will the Xbox do well? We don't know. There's a lot of stuff everywhere, so let's talk about it.
And as always, please like, subscribe, and bang that bell, because the world's crazy, and that bell will save us. I swear it. Bang it. Bang it good.
Phil Spencer has come out and confirmed that there are no first-party exclusives for the Series X for the next couple of years. Other than the fact that it's a beefier set of hardware, there is no reason to buy a Series X for the next couple of years.
Yep.
Which I find to be a very odd choice. And they've been leaning heavily in, like most recently they brought out cover reveals of what the box art's going to be. The Xbox One particularly is just so overly over-designed. In that they actually, it's funny, they use a little bit of the design cues that I use on our artwork with the slash box shape that shows up in the top corner.
Yeah.
So that's where they have like a green bar across the top that's got like the Xbox name on it, and then they got the little like kind of a cut mark that comes out from the bottom left corner that says for Xbox One and Xbox Series X. So they have which consoles it's for on every single console. And then if it's optimized for Series X, they slap a big ass green sticker on the box that is like a freaking like weird diamond shaped thing that says optimized for Series X. And it just looks terrible. Like it just, there's too much there. They could have put that up in the top bar with everything else and just made a little tiny marker up there and it would have been fine. But instead they're like, let's slap it on the cover up more of the box art that we already have. Yeah. So people aren't happy about that. But again, also, not only does it look bad, they're not going to have any exclusives. So it's like, it's just weird. I mean, I like that they're not splitting up their audience, but it's at a time when you want to sell your console, like, I don't know.
It's like, what are you doing?
Like, what's the point of the Series X?
They're just putting it out. It's like they're just putting it out there because PlayStation is putting it out there.
Well, I mean, it's not like you have. Like Xbox players aren't the type of people like you and I that are like, oh, I'm going to go out and buy the next graphic card because it's better and bigger and more beautiful.
Yeah. You're
not going to have anybody running out there that I know of that plays Xbox that's going to run out there and buy it because it's got the latest and greatest graphics.
Right.
They're just not necessarily going to do that, especially if you have the series, the Xbox X. The Xbox One X. That's what I was looking for. There's too many of them, man. It's like they should just call it Triple X and just call it a porn console.
Yeah, man. I feel like I see where they're going. Xbox, like, you bring out a console, you have exclusives, you sell the console. That's why people buy the console, because you can't get those games anywhere else. That's why I feel like they've kind of thrown in the flag and been like, okay, this is what we got. It's whatever. You play games here or not, I don't know. Who cares? And it's like, I don't understand where your mind's at, where your head's at. I guess it's fine. There's no first party exclusives. What they say this year? Or the next few years, like
for the next few years,
you're just kind of shooting yourself in the foot. Like, unless you have some killer fucking games coming out, then I don't know what you're doing. Like, they should have already announced. I don't know. No, it just makes no sense to me. I mean, PlayStation already has these games lined up. And what was it? There was a quote here. It said 2020s will be about ecosystem, not platform. By the end of the decade, I doubt any company will tie context exclusive to one device. Particularly hardware will be a nice to have, not a need to have. That was Matt Piscatella. NDP analyst Matt Piscatella has been predicting for a long time that gaming in the 2020s will be more focused on ecosystems instead of platforms specifically. By the end of the decade, I doubt any company will tie content exclusively to one device.
I mean, I don't disagree with that. I mean, you see that with PlayStation now. Yeah. They're releasing their content on PC. But, as
that
far
was
as
after, that was basically the end of the console life.
Right.
So that makes sense. Like, that totally makes sense, I feel like.
Well, I think I could see them rolling that into the next generation, like at the get-go. Like, I could see, what's the next big game we're going to get on PlayStation that's exclusive?
Godfall.
Well, even like Spider-Man, Miles Morales, or Godfall is multi-platform, so that's going to be.
Okay, never mind.
Or eventually be multi-platform. I think at launch it's going to be. Wait, is it? Well, actually, hang on a minute. It was supposed to be exclusive, I thought, but then I started thinking that it's. I think it is going to be on other systems too.
I think you're right.
'Cause I think it's on PC for sure.
Yeah.
PlayStation 5 and Microsoft Windows, yes. So, but yeah, it was confirmed as like the first console or whatever for PC or PS5. But yeah, like these first parties, like I could see PS5, PlayStation doing what they did with all these games this year, but like doing the same thing where they'll bring out the next Uncharted or whatever it's going to be, and then 6 months later it comes out on PC, and just but giving it that little bit of time where it's timed exclusive to that console, and then eventually come out on the PC platform. But like with Xbox, they're doing it where they own both platforms technically, so they can easily put it on both here. But the fact that they're not giving it, like I could see exclusivity like Xbox Series X and PC exclusive. Yeah. Like that's fine because it's different platforms. But at the end of the day, like you're not going to have you're not going to have console players running out and spending $2,000 on a PC, but you may have console players running out and buying a Series X to buy Halo Infinite exclusive to that platform.
Right.
And
that's going to be exclusive, minus being on PC too. It's not going to come to PlayStation. I would assume not.
Yeah. So that would be a smart move on them, but they're basically cannibalizing their current market. Yeah. Not only that, but what also they announced is that they're going to stop producing the Xbox Series or the Xbox One X, and they're just going to keep the Xbox One S, which I think is a weird call as well, because I'm like, why not keep the Xbox One X and the Xbox Series X, which is a more powerful set of those consoles, and then just stop production of the older ones? But instead they're going to keep because the Xbox One S is basically the Xbox One, but with the ability to play 4K movies. But it doesn't play 4K games, it just plays 4K movies. So, and it's smaller. So it's like, and they're getting rid of the digital edition of the old one. So they're getting rid of the Xbox One X, it's just a weird call all across the board here. But I mean, I guess they wanted to have that big differentiation between the two of like, you either get the Series X, which is our now premier console, or you get the Xbox One S, which is our just base model cheap console.
I feel like they're not looking at why the Xbox 360 was so popular. Or maybe they have, like, I don't know where their mind's at, but it just seems like they aren't looking at that. It was at a great price point. They had a lot of first-party titles. I mean, it was a pretty good UI. There's a lot of, obviously there's issues with it, sure, like the Red Wing.
I still miss the Blade, man. Like that Blade design that they had. I mean, it looks shitty now, but that was a really smart design for the system. Yeah. Because it was so simple. You just navigate through the blades and you got content in the blade and you're good.
Yeah. Like, I just feel like all around the 360, it put Microsoft on the map in a big way. It was already on there. Like, the Xbox is great, but the Xbox 360 just it's even better. It's everything was right, and then for some reason, I don't know what happened.
100%, yeah.
I just think there's been mismanagement. Change of hands of who's directing what and controlling what, and I don't know. I don't know.
I mean, I keep saying that they're leading up to something, but I've been saying that for 4 years now, and I feel like they haven't cannibal. I mean, they now have the Microsoft Studios, which I'm excited about. They have the Game Pass, which is great. I like it. I don't use it as much as I should, but I do enjoy having that. They did just also, in addition to all this, they announced that so there are two things with the Game Pass. One, Xbox Live Gold, actually, they're getting rid of the annual subscription. So you can only purchase it month to month now. And I think they're doing that with everything. So they're not going to have any annual stuff anymore. It's just going to be like a monthly subscription service. So you're not going to get the discounted rate like you did before. So they're doing that. They're also going to make it to where they announced that they want Xbox Project xCloud, their streaming service, to be on every console and every system. So if you buy Game Pass, you're going to get xCloud bundled together, which is something that I was saying that they should have done back when they first announced Game Pass. It was like they need to put this together with it because you want people to use this.
Right.
And so they're doing that, which I'm super, super happy about that because nobody's going to buy it. I mean, look at Stadia, which we're going to talk about, but I took it out because I just didn't care to talk about it.
Yeah.
But Stadia, didn't do a good job with their system, because it's like, I mean, why would you get that? Like, it's just a lesser version of freaking Stadia, basically. It's a lesser version of the other games. But in this case, it's like, if you have Game Pass, you already have access to the streaming platform. So you're like, I'm going to download it on my phone and freaking play whatever I got left off of Ori on my phone because I can. I'm already paying for it, so why not? Whereas if you had the freaking streaming service separate, I mean, that's an extra layer of complexity that you have to go through to get into that system. So bundling this all together, great call. So now you're going to be able to get xCloud, Game Pass, and Xbox games for gold all in one package fee. Done. Like, you know, you're going to have a bunch of people, even if they don't have an Xbox, even if they don't play a lot of PC, I'm going to sign up for that just for Game Pass. And then in addition, I get a couple free games a month because of the games for gold thing. And then I get access to streaming content, which is also a huge deal. So,
well, maybe that's what they're banking on. It's just that we don't need first party titles for that, you know, and it's probably costs more for them to actually make first party titles and add that to the Game Pass, because no one's they're not really recouping their money on that. At least I wouldn't think so.
With all that said, Xbox has got a lot of weird stuff that they're doing, but I mean, they do still have, I mean, I appreciate the fact that they're doing the xCloud. I mean, that's what they needed to do to make this thing successful, is to put it on something that people are already paying for, to get people to expose to it. And I think PlayStation should do that. PlayStation Now, I think they should bundle that with, like, have two tiers. So have the PlayStation Plus and then PlayStation Plus or whatever the next iteration of it is. And it also comes with, in addition to PlayStation Now. That would be something I would probably buy, so I could play some of those stream games, because now they're getting a bigger library on there, and it's supposed to be pretty solid platform to get some games streamed pretty easily.